So, wow, they're bright lights. I'm kind of the pragmatist of the three of us introducing you today. So I've been working with conversational AI for the last 4 years and actually putting it to work in a contact center and trying to help customers with it and trying to help a business with it. So today is an amazing event. I've always loved Disrupt. And it's actually really exciting to hear about ChatGPT. I find it exciting for two reasons. The technology is amazing, and it can be used for good as well as evil. I'm sure all of us have written some comedic poems with ChatGPT. But actually, I find it really exciting because it shows a change in consumers. We kind of experienced a little bit of this during the pandemic, that suddenly people were really open to digital and digital-first approaches. But ChatGPT being the fastest adopted product in the history of really sort of products launched on the internet, that's a change in consumer culture. People want to talk to computers. I've personally always talked to inanimate objects, but finally it seems to be becoming something everybody's willing to do. And that really does put us at the dawn of a new era for customer service, because it's open to all of us now. It's something our consumers will actually embrace. So I'm going to spend just a few short minutes with you, telling you about my story, the things we've done, and challenge you. If you're not doing a conversational AI project in your company, why not? Many companies have been investing in this for the last 3 years, and you're going to get left behind if you don't actually start doing this for a few different reasons. But let me jump into it, see if I can convince you. So Love Holidays, I don't know how many of you have heard of us. We're kind of growing. We've never done any brand advertising. We don't see the point. We've been around for the last 11 years, and we've been exceedingly high growth every year thereafter, to the point that we're now actually the third biggest travel agent in the UK. And we were recognized in 2019 as the fastest growing company in any privately held sector. So we're good at what we do. We're a technology company that sells holidays. And we want to carry on this expansion. Almost naturally, we've become the biggest OTA in Ireland, and we want to take this model to other countries. So you can see kind of automation and good customer service are a vital part of this for us as we grow. So it's not just a fringe project at Love Holidays, it's a core to how we're going to grow our business. So let me introduce you to Sandy. She's a very interesting character. She's been with us for the best part of 3 years. You can see that we have some of the finest minds in the industry working together. We sell short-haul beach holidays, and we came up with the name of Sandy. So we're terribly intimidating as a team. But Sandy's won multiple awards for us. And I'm not just saying that to sort of stand in front of a huge number of you and brag. I am proud of it. But I think it's really interesting because it talks volumes to Sandy. She's won awards for technology innovation. Proud of that. But we've also won awards for customer service. And awards we really respect. And that's what we're here to think about and talk about today, is how technology can come together with human input to make amazing customer service experiences. And you really can. Other things I think are worth knowing about Sandy. We currently handle about 30% of all the demand of our customers. That sounds pathetic when I wrote that down. I was actually disappointed. I was like, wow, that number is tiny. But that's 30% of everything a customer may talk to us about. And people talk to you about the weirdest things in your contact centers. I don't know how many of you have delved into it. And that 30% of topics for us actually translates into chat workloads, about 60% of them. So 60% of all of our chat workload every day is done by a conversational AI. So you don't have to get it to go across everything. We heard about growing your technology responsibly. You don't get to 30% overnight. You slowly but surely build towards it. And actually 30% has a huge impact for us as a business. You can see the steady growth in the numbers. I'm not going to read them out to you. And this last piece, upselling ancillaries, this was more or less a challenge to ourselves. So in the contact centers, we're always told, could you turn a customer service contact center into a profit center rather than a cost center? Me and my colleague, who's hiding over there somewhere behind the lights, thought that was kind of entertaining. There was no chance that you could actually sell somebody something through a chatbot in a support environment. Turns out we're both completely wrong, and actually it works reasonably well. We have a little tiny experiment running at the moment. It converts at about 3.87% when I checked on it last night, selling ancillaries. It's a really interesting potential future that we want to explore at some point. So we're all here thinking about contact centers, so I thought I'd give you Sandy with some very typical contact center statistics. So our CSAT score for Sandy, 71. It comes and goes, like any CSAT score, it's not constant. Average wait time, 96 milliseconds. It's almost not worth counting. And the average handle time, 41 seconds. So across 6 conversational branches, so 6 back and forths, we could solve most people's problems in less than a minute. That's a fantastic agent. I think we'd all be proud to have one of those in our contact centers. Keep those numbers in mind as you look at this slide as well. So each of those conversations that last less than a minute and receives good CSAT costs us 2.3p. I don't know if anyone's going to be brave enough to put their hand up and say that they could beat that cost per contact in their contact center at the moment, but that feels incredibly affordable. So, and it actually translates to a saving of 1.5 million for me. Now I use a very reductive method to get this 1.5 million, assuming humans are online 7 hours a day, because I don't want to oversell the benefits of conversational AI. I want to build a strong business case to continue the investment. But 1.5 million and very conservative, it's good for any business. So great customer service, extremely cost effective, and savings. I'm hoping at this point some of you are starting to think why you should be running conversational AI projects in your business. Done right, they can be hugely impactful. But this area is growing. So all the numbers I've given you up to this point are where we are today. They're real. I changed some of them at 10 o'clock last night. But I wanted to sort of talk about the evolution of personal and human enabling conversations. We've heard a lot about ChatGPT, but this way to talk to people like they're people is really important. I would never actually say I want a chatbot to talk like a person, but I want it to enable a very human-led conversation. And you can see our evolution from 2020. It's about as impersonal as it comes. Still many, many businesses in this area where they just ask you everything about you. So we got a little bit more friendly, but there's no intelligence in it, to where we are today, where it's very personal. It doesn't just know you, it knows the product you brought, and it can go into great depths about those products. These are just our greetings, but that kind of rich personalization now continues all the way through all of our conversations. And that's really important. Because if you want your customers to feel confident and trust that they're going to get an outcome for them from a chatbot, a conversational assistant, it has to feel like it knows them. Otherwise, they're worried they're just going to get fobbed off with a generic answer. But this current example we have has increased our traction with each customer dramatically. Because actually, you know what? If it knows the flight I'm on, my details, it probably does have the right answer. It's probably not a generic answer. So this kind of rise of the conversation on the large language models is really important, but largely for this, to make it enabling interactions for humans. And what's enabled this for us? I feel a bit mean to Seb talking about this particular product on stage from Google, but Microsoft have wonderful products as well. We've moved recently, so we started, like a lot of people started, with Dialogflow CX, which is a great chatbot building tool. You'll see I kind of mix up the phrases chatbot and conversational assistant. I think chatbots are the basic point, conversational assistants are where we got to today. And recently we spent a lot of effort and thought moving to Google's bigger product, Dialogflow CX, in pursuit of this personal conversation. So one of the really key things I want you to think about, because we've all interacted with chatbots that are really quite simple. Some chatbots, I think they're a good analogy for them is talking to a drunk friend that has no, they repeat themselves over and over again. They don't seem to remember the conversation you're having with them. Largely gets quite frustrating. Can be mildly entertaining if it's a drunk friend, but it's not so entertaining if it's a customer service interaction. And with Dialogflow CX, you can have what's called a stateful conversation. So you can build up information about the customer, much like a human does, throughout the course of that conversation. So you can remember every little detail and use it to drive different responses, conditional responses. And we can even use it mixed with our data to change our tone of voice. We greet customers with excitement after they buy a holiday. We don't greet customers with excitement when they're on holiday. Very few people contact us on holiday just to have a nice chat. Something's gone wrong. So they want that sense of urgency and that sense of caring from us, and we can change that. So there's a couple of other key things. I could go on about Dialogflow CX for about an hour, so I won't bore you. But it actually fits with our contact centers for the first time. We've spent years building these models of sort of skills-based routing and subject matter experts who really know their areas. You can't change a business to being this world where it's a technology team that front everything. It's too much of a change. And technology people are, especially conversational designers and architects, there are not that many of them in the industry. You want to actually be able to tap into those SMEs that you've built. And you can do that with an architecture of lots of small bots brought together to be your customer service. The phrase that Google uses, not me, is megabots, which sounds very exciting. But that really works. And it actually gives you that kind of speed. One of the reasons loveholidays is growing so fast is we really believe in configuration over code. If people can configure a system, we can tap into the knowledge of so many more. And CX has really enabled that for us. But I'm going to move on, because I'm getting rather low on time. But why do I think this is the dawning of a new era for customer service? Actually, I've worked in contact centers since the late 90s. And I've always been told by everybody I've ever worked with, things used to be good in customer service. I think this chap works in that world of good customer service, where you'd be greeted and sort of everybody would be known by name and they'd talk to you about your family members and the last product you brought and how happy you were. People have referred to it even as the golden age for customer service. When I moved into travel, apparently that's what every high street travel agent used to do. Greet you and ask you how your last trip was, and ask you about the pool and the waiter by name. I don't know if it ever really existed. I don't know if any of us have ever really experienced it, but with AI, and conversational AI in particular, we're at the point where we can know our customers. We can actually greet every single customer by name with as much context as you want. So you could talk to them about their product, you could talk to them about their friends and family if you want to. I personally think that's a bit creepy, but you can go to that world if you want to. And you can guarantee that those conversations are polite, attentive, using the right tone, have a great attention to detail every single time. So, hugely changing the world of customer service. Maybe it's not just a new era we're about to go into. Maybe it is actually the golden era that was, we're told, was in history, is actually about to become real. So, and interestingly for me, one of the really key points coming from a super high growth business is this scales effortlessly. So we've just had the busiest January in the history of our company, way over our expectation. And we never once had a conversation about scaling our customer service AIs at all. They just effortlessly scaled. Now, I'm out of time. I hope I've given you enough to make you think, if you're not doing it, why am I not doing it? It's cost effective, customers enjoy it, and it can help you scale your business. We're about to enter some hard economic times, having 2.3 pence per contact conversations that can get this level of feedback. I think we'd all welcome that. And I think customers welcome it too. So if you want to ask me questions, reach out to me on LinkedIn or see me around the event. But there's lots of people from Sabio who'll be able to start these conversations with you. There is so much we should all be doing with this technology. But thank you for your time. It's lovely to speak to you.